Okay, what video genre am I ripping off this time? Pointing at a table genre. Okay.
Guys, I don't think I have enough hobbies. I don't think I'm spending enough money, between rhythm games, video games, card games, gunpla. I'm just simply not driving myself towards bankruptcy fast enough. It's time to hold some hobby auditions. So let's set a criteria first. So what we need is something that relates to my childhood, because no one wants a hobby that isn't just monetized childhood nostalgia. 2, it's skillful, needs to have a skill floor, so I feel bad every time I lose, and I feel like I just scummed something off of my opponent every time I win. And 3rd, it's cheap. Okay, I did say I was driving myself towards bankruptcy, but I don't want to feel that. I don't think that's something I want to particularly feel. So, we'll have the bankruptcy creep up on me. And number 4, alive. I know what it's like to invest in something that is dead. Turns out resurrection is not a thing. Resurrection just does not exist. Well, I could add another card game to my repertoire, but Yu-Gi-Oh's already in my I'm going to look at it and make uneducated decisions hobby. I know I like golf games like the little weirdo I am, but I don't think I'm particularly built for touching greens. Okay, that is just too expensive. Let's just get to the actual hobby I want to talk about today. Assault with a deadly weapon. So, Beyblade, early 2000s thing. It's got like 4 generations. You seen that one meme image that everyone always shows? I think Jesus was a Beyblade, but this generation's really cool. They're going for a more competitive edge. Extreme Gear Sports. That's how you know they're serious. They've got the extreme without the E. The gears here, they match up with the edge of the stadium to give it like a sort of nitro boost. And since it's only been around like 2 years in the West, I think it's good to get on the bus now before like more gimmicky stuff comes in and I got like a whole back.
I almost forgot the launchers and grips.
I mean, that's basically how I got into this hobby. Go on vacation, find these on a shelf, get reminded of my childhood, want to buy something for vacation, and then go off the deep end, clearly. But even so, I just think this hobby's really neat. So let's just get into the bits and bobs of what a Beyblade X is. Which way do I twist this to get it out again?
Oh.
So here are the main bits of the Beyblade, most of the time. We've got the blade, we've got the ratchet, and we've got the bit. To be fair, ratchets aren't completely useless, and I guess I'll make this the first thing I'll talk about. They're just really complementary to just the blade and bit and how the Beyblade works. Usually it's just, oh, this ratchet follows along on, is it an attacker or a defender? How tall is it? Usually shorter because, shorter is better in this game. That's about it. Like, they've been getting more interesting with their ratchet designs, but usually that interesting thing goes, is this ratchet horrible or not? As for explaining the bits and the blades, I think the best way to really describe to you how they work is by just looking at all the interesting ones and doing a montage. So, rubber on the tip, better for grip. Rubber on the Beyblade, better for, I couldn't tell you. These little flaps come out for attack and defense, I hear.
Balls.
Obligatory Beyblade that spins the wrong way. Free spinning wheel that if you pair it with the bound spike bit, creates just like the greatest fidget toy.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
How do I grab this one without splitting my hand open? Metal needle that damages stadiums. Sloped bit that jumps around. Ball that free spins on the Beyblade. Multiple levels of movement that sound like ass when you launch the Beyblade. Ratchet bit combination with height change. Who said ratchets can't be interesting? All they needed to do was just join bits. Guys, I don't know how this happened. I just did mode change. Okay, so This one's made out of metal and has 5 slots, but it's also got the really bad retaining mechanism. This one's a wall. So basically, the blade is how the Beyblade interacts with the air and other bays, and the bit is how it interacts with the stadium surface. Both of these are key for dictating what your Beyblade is and how it works. Is it an attacker? Is it a filthy stamina type? Is it a horrible defense type? But enough about just describing how the Beyblade works. How about we get into some actual gameplay between them? Oh, what's the worst that could happen by putting it like this? Maybe that the phone drops and destroys my phone, and the stadium, and the Beyblades. Ah. Beyblade! The game can be a 1v1, but usually it's a 3v3 to a set amount of points, usually either 4 or 7. I mean, the 3v3 actually adds a lot of deck building. You usually go up against a meta, a non-meta, until you hit the X2 bracket, in which all of that goes out the window, and then you can just play whatever you want. Losing spin before the other counts as 1 point, getting thrown into the pockets at the corners of the stadium are 2 points, and getting thrown out the front door is 3 points. And finally, your bay exploding is 2 points. I'm sorry, bay death can only mean so much. I guess that gives one big question about how the competitive scene works. Is regulation the death of my childhood? No, that isn't actually the real question. Is Beyblade an RNG game? Well, I mean, there are worse games. I mean, once you got it ripped, it's kind of in God's hands after 5 seconds. And sometimes God... But capitalizing on those 5 seconds are typically your ways to success in this game. It's basically a law of averages game about being in the right place at the right time. Remember, you're the one holding the launcher at the beginning of the round, so you have full discretion about where the Beyblade is going to be launched, the tilt at which it's going to be launched, and how much power is going to be sent to the bay. And that's after selecting which bays you're going to use and in which order you're going to present them. A skilled blader can often put their blade in an optimal area for defending or attacking, and thus you'll typically see a lot of high skill bladers at the top tables, while still giving enough room for those gambling enjoyers to really enjoy themselves once they've hit the jackpot. I am the latter rather than the former. Now, I'm actually quite lucky in having a community that's just quite large and does locals on the regular. Playing Beyblade by myself can be fun, but I can only do it for so long before I start making heinous statements. I mean, like, let's think about the things that we need to have in order to have a community around Beyblade X pop up. First, you gotta get a community, or at least a place that supplies like either of these. Second, you just gotta have the game stores wanting and to be able to just run all of these stadiums together for an event in which they are quite loud. You saw how level was, how loud that was. Now imagine that, and then multiply it by 4. And lastly, you gotta want people who actually want to play this game. That can actually be quite hard. I've tried to get people to play other games. Or you can be like me and actively invade a party with my collection. Speaking of collection, how this is both a question of my mental state and how you actually want to collect these. Getting into this hobby is pretty cheap. While mega collections itself and just starting to get all the bits and bobs, I would say is a sliding scale of difficulty. First off, easy mode. You live in an Asia area that's not rural before those people get on my case. You have access to everything, newest bays on arrival, all the accessory stuff we don't get, an app that is... I can't read this. You get access to the actual regulation stadium. I mean, like, this wasn't even Japan area. I got this Night Shield for maybe like $5. Bless Hong Kong Wonderland. And this UX10 set I was bolting around Japan on the final day, just trying to find one of these so I don't have to pay double when I get back home. Honestly, if you're into Beyblade and are in Japan, just like get as much as you can. This is why I'm basically up to current right now. And now, because of that, I am obligated to keep up with the release schedule. Medium difficulty, Western distribution. It's complicated. Guys, to be real, the reason I switched to Beyblade X is because my other hobby Magic, I don't like what they've been doing to it. Universes Beyond, screwing up multiple formats. I just really dislike Hasbro. I think Takara Tomy really does well by at least Beyblade X so far. And you know what? I think I want to give this one a chance over Magic, which has scorned me so much. Now, I'm going to take a big sip of water and see who distributes Beyblade. Yes, everybody's favorite Pinkerton users are distributing another hobby I enjoy. I love it when Hasbro destroys my... Okay, it's not all bad. It used to be pretty bad. I mean, like, nerfing Metal Fight stadiums, nerfing Burst Beyblades in general, re-releasing them as Pro Series. I mean, like, another disadvantage of Hasbro is that each starter basically comes with these, like, dinky proto-launchers that, like, you just can't get a good grip on. Let's just say that Takara Tomy is watching Hasbro to make sure they don't do any heinous shit. Hasbro does do some cool things with Beyblade X. First off, this packaging looks great, let it rip. These are really easy to shoplift from though. I mean, like, it's not like Takara Tomy is faultless here. Okay, so I spent like $70, maybe $80 importing this so I could get the hold launcher, which helps me hold Beyblades in a specific position. And then I had to buy this one, which is like $60, because it came with the hold launcher that doesn't shred your ripcord. I like barely use this launcher too. We've got random booster bays, so many important bays are just locked between gambling or, you know, I guess secondhand market, but like these are going to be higher priced. And then you also have the app, which uses this thing and has exclusive bays, which are locked behind, you know what? It's gotcha. It's gambling again. I mean, like, Japan is basically Vegas if you changed a few variables, right? Hasbro cuts out the gambling from the random boosters and just gives us the prize bays here as just a regular purchase. And they do cool crossovers, which aren't gameplay intrusive, unlike another game that I like. All in all, Hasbro is... Hasbro is... Hasbro is... The one thing from Hasbro that I haven't covered, their distribution is kind of wishy-washy. Some of their Beyblades are basically vaporware until very recently, and some places just don't get it. And that brings us to hard mode, which is you either don't get these or you're stuck on wave 1 and 2 for eternity. I am so sorry, but also sucks to suck. And honestly, well, that's Beyblade for you. Spin fast, hit other enemies, do damage, knock them down. Check your local scene to see if it's bustling, and if it isn't there, just buy a few anyway because, like, this game is just fun to play. Whether it's the 3-piece design that piques your creative interest, you just love labbing things like it's a fighting game, or you just want to kill your enemy into the sun. If you're a big fan of spinning, and I am a very big fan,